Hello everyone, my name's Tris and this is 00 and this is the shunting yard layout that you've been following. Firstly, I must say thank you to everyone who's been commenting, leaving great comments and bits of advice here and there, which has been great. This episode, I'm going to work on some smaller details on the layout. I've had a few comments talking about things that I've recently done. So the bridge, one thing that I would like to do is raise the road level and put some I-beams underneath, just to add some detail, even though you're not generally going to see it. If I'm at a show and people are looking from down here, they'll be able to see the bottom detail. And actually, if you can see some little I-beams going across the supports for the bridge, that will be good. So I've got some plastic art that I got from Tony's Trains of Rugby to do that. He had a nice stand. We just got like squares, circles, I shapes, L shapes. You can name it, it's kind of there. So that's one thing I want to do. A number of people talked to me about the wall here, and the topic was talked about the height. Looking at the ones in real life, they vary. And I guess it's based on the size of the tanks. If both tanks completely emptied, is it enough to contain it? I guess that's how it works. Looking at it, sometimes it's the height of a person standing, and some look a bit lower, but they're not much lower than that. So I'm going to leave it how it is, but I do need to add some steps, how to get in, how to get out. I feel like the steps would be quite large, so I feel like putting some little ladders on there. I don't know if I have any ladder stuff, but I think I might have some plastic card that I can use for that again. So that'd be really, really good, so that'd be finalised. Other little things that I want to go over is, you know, adding like little sleepers in here, some buffer ends. But as we get to it, we can enjoy it. What I have here is the Plastrock little styrene pieces. You can see there's the little I-beams inside there. It tells you the size as well. So if you're trying to do the projection, and trying to work out what it is, shows it's, I guess, 4mm across there. That's what they mean. I like to buy these little packets. I've got some larger ones, but I think these are appropriate to, you know, if you scale that up, that's a foot long I-beam. Well, you know, tall. So that's pretty sturdy. So you'd like to think that will work. And if not, we'll just have to watch little model cars drop under, well, through the bridge. You know, what I'm going to do is get them fitted. To remind you, the error that I made with this is, first of all, the height of this is pretty high, which is fine. You know, we can agree that, you know, the walls can be high and low, but the road is here, and there's an argument that when you look at it, the road should be more like up here. So with those 4mm pieces raising here, put a new piece of foam board or whatever it is over the top. That should look just about right. So cutting out this, I'll just use the scissors. They should do a nice job. I'll take out the main bit of it. There we are there. Let me chop out this side. It's a plasticky type material. The whole thing's popping off at the moment. Or do I just, maybe I should just pull the whole road off and add another go. I think we'll go with that. We'll just trim this back. And then the I-beam's got something to sit on. And we can glue it on something. So we'll just trim that back there. Not that you can really see too much of what's going on, but ultimately, you know what I'm trying to do. So this is our I-beam material. You know, you wonder how many you should do. So I'm thinking every kind of 6mm, put something across. And we don't have to do the last little bit. Or we can, no one's going to be upset. And so if I start on the edge and just do that, and then we can finish off at the end and cap it off with something, maybe another I-beam, who knows. That just drops in here. We'll go there. I think it works. I don't think it's going to offend anyone. So yeah, so that'll just drop in there. I've put some, like I said, the I-beams every kind of 6mm. I think that'll look alright. I'll paint it black first. I've dusted it in black. I'm thinking I'll just leave it black. I was thinking about weathering it up, but no one's going to see much of it. We've just got that detail there, so I'll just use a bit of super glue to hold that down, and then that'll be it. We can build the road up on there. It's 4mm high, so I need to kind of replicate that height
across it, but no one's going to see if it's slightly out. Get that super glue on there. Get that underneath it. We don't need much to hold it down.
So that's that detail in place. I'm not going to moan about that. I might have to come in with a paintbrush and paint the white bits a darker colour, but that's fine. We can do that at a later time. So now we do the road. I've used a thick paper from Hobbycraft. I've spaced up using the same I-beam stuff to then allow me just to not have to worry about getting the heights right with something else. So what I'm going to do is use super glue to stick it down. On the edges where there would be like the micro gaps, that's where little shrubbery will be growing, so obviously muck and things will grow on there. I'll paint this that dark grey colour like I painted here. I was tempted to put like a fine ballast on, you know, like some sand or something like that, to then act as kind of like a rough road, kind of gravelly surface this is there. But I think what I do is, again, I'll just paint this that dark grey colour. I've ended up getting a bit carried away, adding in some fine sand, which I got on a beach when I was on holiday in Bulgaria. Obviously, most sands will do. Obviously, any fine ballast, but sand's nice because it doesn't offer like massive texture in regards to like the lumpiness. I mean, when I say massive, when you look at some of the ballast that you can use, even the Engage stuff is still quite chunky, whereas sand is very fine and you can pick it up off the beach. So ultimately, if you're close to a beach or you've got a friend going there, ask them to fill up a jar of sand, and then you've got a lot that you can use for your railway. So what I do is I got my old honey jar, and I get my sand out of it. I sprinkle it on, and it kind of sets really fast with the sand. You can drop it on. Obviously, don't drop big clumps on because you get big lumps. But what I want to do is have kind of a little bit of a beaten up gravelly road, which we can then paint. Add a bit more to the eye when you look at this as well. I'll be more satisfied, especially. So yeah, so I'm gonna do the whole lot, and like I said, I'll paint it grey. The next stage is a bit of dry brushing. So I get some paint on this brush. It's like a makeup brush, but it's kind of meant for dry brushing. And really just work it over the tops and create a lighter texture. So it's not just one kind of uniform murkiness. We can start dusting in over the top. Little circles, lines, whatever you want. If you put too much paint on, you can always paint it grey again, and then come back in with your lighter colour. I've just gone for a light grey here. I'm just working the area, so it's just a bit, you know, something to pick out, little details. Every little bit of texture you can kind of show off when someone's looking at it or you're looking at it. Your eye will pick that out. So on camera it doesn't show it as much, or maybe it does, but you ultimately have something that's got more visual interest than before. So I can double check on here. I haven't put too much paint on. Use a bit of tissue when you'll just dab it off. So basically, people are going to be seeing from this side. I just need it to look more interesting. So yeah, textures, shading, bits of weathering here and there. They bring things to life. Using one of my favourite products, which is Finally Foliage by Woodland Scenics. What I do is glue, so get some super glue, top it in a corner, okay. Then push a big clump against it. Okay, we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to pull off the excess.
So we're going to work our way over all of this. Okay, we're going to have a camera there. But what we do is we get our fluff, we push it on, and what we do is we pull off what hasn't glued, and you end up with what I feel is a very nice effect. So just get the big bits. This is from a pack that I've been working my way through. Let's tilt the camera around. So we've got this bit here, and just let that dry. And then what we do is we just pull it all off afterwards. Of course you could leave it like that and it looks like a very overgrown area and not the healthiest of roads. But once this dries, which it should be shortly, because it dries pretty quickly with like this stuff, we can get our tweezers and we can pull off all the excess. I'll drop that back in the pot. Anything that hasn't dried, or anything that hasn't stuck, will come off. So really easy to do, and it's a great product. It's got little sticks and little, looks like bits from real plants really inside here. So you basically just pick off whatever isn't sticking. So what we do is we use a little brush to kind of knock back away what we haven't used. And it's okay if little bits get left from the road. Pop that back in there. And now you get left with this fantastic little overgrowth here, which has got little twigs and things. It's just looks great in my opinion. That's the whole road done. I'm happy with that. So that'll be our view, and then the little car will sit on there. Now with the Ford Fiesta, as I talked about before in the last episode, when you're driving past, you can see the railway. So it's a bit more realistic on the height. When they're behind the steel girder, they don't see anything. Once they come past, they can do that. Of course, if someone's also standing, they could be standing on the side of the road. This is me, standing, having a little watch. And yeah, I think that looks absolutely fine. Just have a look at that in view. It all fits in nicely, obviously when it's in focus. Now for the ladder, I decided to use a slightly out of shot view here from a kit for a water tower that I was doing. I honestly thought I'd brought some already for something else, a separate project, but I'm thinking that would just go in front in this way because that's like a clear space, but there are pipes there, so maybe here, but then the engine shed might be around there, so I guess somewhere around the side and people would see it. So I'll put a bit up on the side there, a bit down there, and then just stick it in place and see how it works out. Now this is all done, I think I might just glue this unit together because they are separate. So a bit super glue there, glue the ladder on there. I probably won't even bother painting it because it's black. I could always weather it up later on a little bit, but we don't want a rusty ladder to climb up, do we? So this scene's coming together quite nicely. We've got our ladders that are in there. You can see them from here. And they can get in, they can get out, which is great. We've got our back scene as you saw it on the last one. I call it back scene, but it is the kind of the capping part of the layout, which kind of, you know, the bits come in and they go out down there. So then I quite like it. I like the whole raised road. Let me know what you think. I think the texture came out quite nicely for the road. I think it looks good personally, so I'm happy with that. Setting the scene with my recent purchases from Tony's Trains at Rugby. Really happy with these. The loco, I'm looking forward to running that, and yeah, just really pleased with how this is coming out. Like I said,
Anyone that's been watching, that's been following progress, thank you for your comments, kind comments at that, and the likes, the following, obviously utilising the subscribe function on YouTube. Really appreciate all your support, all my channel members and patrons. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to become a channel member or patron, you click join below or go on Patreon and join 00 Nil. That will support the channel further and allow it to grow that a little bit more. But no, scenes coming together. I'm looking forward to the next stage, which will be kind of adding more details, and then the engine shed over that side. That's kind of entertaining me quite a lot, the idea of that. There's other details that I did talk about at the beginning of the video, which I'm not going to do today because, like I said, we're running out of time. Anyway, thank you so much. As always, take care of yourselves and see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.